Good afternoon to everybody. This is Michael, the Decor, coming to you from San Diego, California. I know it's been a little while, and I know the draft series has kind of taken a pause for a good minute, but that doesn't mean I still haven't been active in the scene, and even more now with GENESYS, as it's kind of fleshing out. It's definitely been a format that's actually spoken a little bit more to me, just in regards to how I like to play the game, and that includes kind of being able to play the game. When it comes to the meta, there's a lot of things that are going on, but I think the Genesis aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh that they're trying to go for is more in line with how I generally like to play, and that just includes playing a really good game. And with all the different cards and game mechanics that that Yu-Gi-Oh has, I think Genesis is taking the most advantage of what this game can provide. And with that in mind, I've been keeping up with what's been going on with Genesis, especially since it's still developing. But nonetheless, I was able to go over to Pasadena and played a few rounds. Finally got to play a few rounds, and even though I did not make wasn't able to take the first flight, I lost in the last round versus Monarchs. Nonetheless, I was able to join the next flight, was able to come back. And regardless, I want to give my little deck profile, just to at least be able to put my name out there, put the deck profile out there, and kind of give a little more oomph to what this format is developing into. It was, to me personally, I have to say I played some great games against some really good players, and even more, it kind of let me play the deck that I've been kind of wanting to play for a very long time. And with the way the meta is, or at least standard, you would never be able to play some of these cards, some of these decks, in the way they were kind of maybe intended to. And no further ado, here's the deck profile that got me first place for, I believe, the last flight of Genesis, end of the day. We were the very last people playing, and nonetheless, I was able to take it. So with that in mind, let's start it off with the card of the deck, which is Spectral. This little guy right here, the blue-eyed dragon ruler, this is the card that makes the whole deck work. Not only do you get a very cool secondary effect to be able to revive the X-Seed version of them, but this is the Searcher. This is a discard outlet. This is what makes the deck kind of updated to now 2026, to be able to compete in any sense that the Dragon Rulers were just not able to do before. So 3 Spectral is a must. He's your Searcher, he's the guy. And with that in mind, we're going to be playing one of each of the Dragon Rulers. Each of these Dragon Rulers is really important because it gets you to the big boys, of course, and lets you kind of be able to get everything going, get all the elements onto the board, onto the field. But realistically, you only need one of each. And you'll probably see why I was able to just at least for myself, the way I like the deck, I was able to deduce the ratios into just one of each. But even though we were able to cut down the babies into one of each, you are still going to be playing three of Tempest. Obviously, as any Dragon Ruler player from the past knows, Tempest is your dragon searcher in general. Not only does he actually search a wind dragon, but by discarding another wind, you can just search any dragon. So this is gonna be your bread and butter right there. And second, of course, is Blaster. Blaster, just the strongest of the Dragon Rulers, gives you a pop if you discard another fire dragon, and gives you another pop through Chasm. With that in mind, 2 of Tempest and 2 of the Redox. 2 of each of these is enough. Obviously, some people really like that 3rd Blaster because you definitely don't want to ever be without your pop. But because of the way that I've kind of designed this deck, you really only need 2 because you are able to recycle them. And you're going to see why right now. So these are all the dragon rulers that you really will be playing, or at least that I chose to play. You really don't want more, you don't want less. Obviously you want to get the engine going, but you have enough cards to get it all in motion. And the cards that get it to going in motion are the armed dragons. These little bad boys, believe it or not, these do a lot of work. Not only does armed dragon get you a draw 1, armed dragon level 5, he searches basically any wind dragon, which gives you access to these alongside your Tempest and a few other cards that I'm going to be mentioning. Level 7, even though he might be the worst one out of the 4, he actually lets you search for any of these. So whenever you're able to discard him for any of your dragon ruler babies, he's able to give you access to whatever your hand needs to be shaped into. Sometimes you're going to need the search, sometimes you're going to want to draw, and sometimes you're going to want the body. And this guy right here, Pile Armed Dragon, he does a lot of work in himself. Not only is he just a big body to be able to summon himself, he gets you access to any of these as well. So all the armed dragons kind of work with themselves, and therefore it's a perfect fit for this deck, realistically. And alongside the fit for this deck, I also chose to go with the Rose Dragons. One of each. Rocks Rose, Red Rose, and the Basil Shoot. And realistically, for me, I only felt like I needed one of each, because with the cards that I chose to put into the deck, these are recyclable. These are your tuners. These are the ones that give you the most bang for your buck, but also these are the biggest, and I repeat it, they are the biggest bluffs that you can play out for those games. Because as soon as somebody sees a level 3 tuner drop alongside a dragon ruler, they're going to need to do something. They're going to need to respond. They're either going to have to activate a monster effect, spell and trap, something to stop these from synchroing. So these are all really good, all 3 of these. I prefer Rocks Rose. I'm not sure why people choose Red Rose, but Rocks Rose is the main card that I want to see. Rocks Rose gets you the Basil Shoot, it gets you Reborn, gets you to Red Rose, but Red Rose, he's necessary. And for one of the last cards, one of the last dragons to add into this deck, Sheena, Twin Tempest of Celestial Thunder. This card puts in a lot of work. This is your hand trap. This is the card that kind of lets you mold how you're going to play out the game. You're going to bait out either spells or traps, monsters, whatever you need it to do, it's going to do it. And for those are the dragons that I chose to go with. And for some of the side cards, some of the pointed cards, Molcharmi, 2 Molcharmis, 1 Perulia. This is realistically with the high points that the dragon rulers already have within themselves. This is pretty much all I could afford. If I could play more, I probably would, but you know, this is what I could afford. This is what I chose to go with, and these paid off immensely. Sometimes people, for the people that play with Genesis, you understand that a lot of times, even through the first game, you're trying to figure out where your opponents have put their points in. And sometimes if you don't see these are a big surprise for your opponent once you actually drop them. They're gonna get caught off guard, and in many occasions my opponent got caught off guard. Not just with these, but my other 2 pointed cards, these boys right here, Keldo and Medora. These are not just good discard outlets for the Redox combo with Redox and Reactant, just to be able to discard and such, but these are the ones that give you access to being able to recycle whatever it is that you need. That's why I only needed 1 of each of the dragon rulers. That's why I only needed 2 blasters. Each time these hit the grave, not only is it danger for your opponent, for your opponent's graveyard recycling or resource management, but also for you. That's why I also only needed 1 of each of the rose dragons. And of course, Swiss Scarecrow. Through testing, even though as strong as the dragon rulers are, Genesis format gives a good balance to a lot of things. I understand that some things are still need to be worked out, but because because this format is meant to be focused on some sort of balance, which is one of the reasons why Dragon Rulers still have significant amount of points. As strong as the Dragon Ruler board can be, Genesis makes it very outable. So in certain occasions, you just need to survive. And so Scarecrow was that one card that would just kind of help me do that. To different testing, this was just the one that I chose to go with. But you'll see that in the side deck, I still had to have even more, because sometimes people would break my boards and just straight out kill me. All right. With this deck, even though it is very monster heavy, I chose to go with some spells and traps, but the times that you don't draw that, you still need the backup plan. And so Scarecrow did that much. So that's the monsters. And for the spells and traps, we're gonna go with 3 Sacred Sword of 7 stars. This card right here does a lot. Not only does it help you trigger the big daddy rulers to get you any other kind of dragon, but lets you draw 2. And sometimes it can be a bit of a brick if you end up drawing another one, but even though if you draw another one, it still gets you lets you basically search for any other of the baby rulers if you need some. But alongside that spell is Here There Be Dragons. This card right here is basically a custom card for Dragon Rulers. Not only does it let you special summon one from the banished or graveyard, but it lets you exceed into what you might need. So this is a really good comeback card, especially with the graveyard banishing effect. I was able to catch off guard a few people that just didn't know how this card worked, because it does let you banish itself and lets you return back basically any kind of element from your banished zone back into the graveyard. So that grind game, this is the card that does it. And the last 4 cards that I had to go with, Torrential Tribute and Paleozoic Dynamiscus. These cards right here, like I mentioned, this Genesis format is meant to not just focus on the actual gameplay of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think it's meant to give a good balance to whatever is out there. And even though these cards aren't pointed, these cards are very strong. A lot of cards are not, a lot of players are not expecting for you to just blow up the board. A lot of players are not expecting you to just banish one of their cards. All these 4 cards are very good removal for something that is just very unexpected. And sometimes people expect to go with a certain game plan, and these cards, they can definitely catch people off guard. And they did with me a few games, and they did exactly what I needed them to. Clear the board, make sure I survived, and be able to get rid of things in my hand. This includes the Medora and basically anything that might have had extra that I just didn't need, including these. So that is what I chose to go with in regards to the main deck, which was straight 40. Side deck, we went with 3 Chasmas and 3 Eclipses. These cards right here, the big blue-eyed baby and the dark-eyed, red-eyed baby right here. These cards right here, these cards are what make this deck work. Being able to copy any effect, being able to negate spells and traps, and then being able to merge both of them into disaster. This card right here. This card is your turn 2, turn 3 play that lets you finish off everything. Lets you banish anything from the graveyard, anything from the field, anything that's been a problem. But believe me, even this card cannot win you the game alone. It almost get you there, but because of its Genesis, you still need more. You still need more. One more card that I had, make a Phantom Beast Draco Sack. A staple back in the Dragon Lure days, but it's also a wind, which lets you pair off with this boy right here, Sheena. This can be a great bluff for anything if you're trying to bait out anything, or if you just want your opponent to respond to something. As soon as they see Draco Sack, they know that he's going to be popping something. And if you have this in your hand, it's a great bait. Number 2, Ninja Shadow Mosquito. This guy is only in here for the Paleozoics in the chance that I end up summoning both of them. I can make him and be able to go into the boy right here, Zeus. This is basically where I spent the rest of my points, and after this I'm basically you know, broke. But Zeus is kind of a mandatory for this deck, at least I believe, mainly because, like I said, Disaster, sometimes as strong as he is, he's not going to get you there, and sometimes you are going to want to, you know, a good old Zeus to be able to wipe the board, or just make sure you survive through the next turn. The last of the synchros, the Black Rose Dragon, just in case I need to destroy a whole field. We have changing for the level 10 synchro plays. We have Arms of Genix Return 0. This card is insane for anybody that knows what it does. It lets you basically banish any kind of elements. It lets you banish your dragon rulers, lets you trigger off their effects. This card does so much. And the last is the fabled, what's his name? Levelzebub. Another level 10 synchro that's just great for to go into, or to be able to get rid of problems that you can't otherwise get rid of. Lets you take control of their opponent's monster, and I believe it's non-targeting as well, so you know, does a lot. And that is it for the extra deck. Side deck, we're gonna try and just burn through this. But 3 Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. The amount of times that this card drops down to the field is impressive, and it gets rid of a lot because there's so many less hand traps. People are able to build their boards, and this is able to get the job done. And believe me, it got used against me too. So, you know, drop that nuts on them. Artifact Lancia, as game heavy as Genesis can be, banishing can be a huge aspect in this. Whether it's for my own deck, for the mirror match, whether it's for monarchs, this card can take care of a lot of things, and this is why it needs to be kept at 3 for me, at least. Illusion Gate, 3, very good card. Wipes the board, lets you summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard at the cost of half your life points. Doesn't stop your battle phase, doesn't stop their effects. So if you're able to clear the board, this gives you access to almost like just a straight OTK. Spellbound. This card I feel is very good. 0 points. Even though it can't always get you there, sometimes it can do enough to at least stop your opponent's combos. And being able to stop them while they try to play during your turn, this card does it. And Anti-Magic Arrows right here. This is a card that I've been trying out for a good while, and it's paid off, I believe. If you're going second and you have a way to either blow up the board or do some kind of damage, you know, I think something like this can be very useful, where you just go into some monsters, they can't use their back row, they only have their monsters available, and if they don't have a way to negate this is going to blow up everything. So that's just something I've been trying personally. And last but not least, Necrogardna. This card, same as Scarecrow, sometimes Scarecrow is not going to be enough. Sometimes they're going to Dark Ruler you, they're going to do a lot of different things, but the only reason Necrogardna works is because you can dump him through Chasma right here. If you go through Tempest, you're able to dump Necrogardna, and it gives you an extra shield of protection, because sometimes people will straight up just Ultimate Slayer you, they will Dark Ruler no more, they'll be able to get rid of this. But if you feel like that match is already very preemptive, or you've even seen them already use those cards, Necrogardna, shoot it off during draw phase, and at least you'll know that you'll have one block for that turn. And sometimes they might even forget he's in there, and he can come in handy. But nonetheless, that is my deck list for Genesis, winning this beautiful game mat right here. And yeah, thank you very much to everybody who stayed to watch, and I hope to see you all more. Michael the Decor signing out. Peace.